From the top rope to your collection, this collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I'm your host, Moon 3PO, and this is my tag team partner, Bro PO, coming through with our Royal Rumble prediction episode. But before we get into all that, Bro PO, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy Royal Rumble weekend. I'm assuming this is probably obviously going to come out tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, we got Friday night SmackDown tonight or Monday morning
Morning,
SmackDown if you're
yeah.
watching on the VPN, which I may look into because sick of commercials and stuff like that. But that's a story for another day. And yeah, then we got the Rumble on Saturday, nice, bright and early. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of past Royal Rumbles, which I typically tend to do around the season. So yeah, I'm a little bit more excited than I think I was a couple of days ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Still a little up in the air, but I mean, this is the time where stuff starts to hopefully take off. Um, yeah. So I'm ready. How you doing?
Yes, no, happy Royal Rumble weekend, everybody. Yes, you're hopefully you're listening to this on Friday morning or Friday mid-afternoon. And yeah, I believe we're in the same boat. I think we came off a little bit. I don't want to say we came off negative. I think it was very heavy. I would say it was fair criticism on our part about how we felt about the current state of the product and the current state of WWE heading into Royal Rumble season. But yeah, I think it's been a little bit more of like self-hyping, I think, for me. Obviously, we've had pretty good back-to-back Friday night SmackDown, the Monday Night Raw, and then Saturday night's main event was actually pretty good. So I think that kind of helped build the momentum, showing like, okay, like we're kind of getting somewhere. Obviously, we're gonna talk about these announcements here and how they've been doing it. Well, obviously, that's a different thing, but yeah, I think it's been a lot of more like self hype on my end. Granted, the product has been better as of late, but like I kind of like you mentioned there, it's Royal Rumble season. It's hard not to get excited for the Royal Rumble, even though it's going to be on at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time or wherever you're watching in the world. So it's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment. And obviously, like yourself, I like to go back and watch a lot of the old Royal Rumbles here. Which one did I rewatch recently? I rewatched 2002. I rewatched 1992
Ooh,
the other day. So
that's a
yeah,
good one. 92,
it's always
92 is a
fun.
good one.
Yeah, 92 is a good one. I'm gonna full transparency, calling myself up, never seen it. Didn't know it was for the World Heavyweight or for the WWF
Yeah,
title. Didn't know Ric Flair won it. That's all me.
that's the infamous Flair promo at the end of what he won.
Yes.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert if you haven't seen it from 1992.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too because I love Bobby the Brain Heenan on commentary. Dude's fucking hilarious. Like, yeah.
Yeah, when we were doing our Survivor Series predictions, like I grew an appreciation for the managers a little bit more. So like Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Fuji, guys like that, like I grew a little more of appreciation for. So like just hearing them on commentary for a good
The
hour and a
slickster.
half
The slickster.
was pretty funny. We
Yeah.
also rewatched 2018, which is pretty ironic with Shinsuke Nakamura. Rewatched the ones that
Mm.
we were at 2007 and then 2022. What? 22, 21? When's the last time they were
Us?
here? Yeah.
It's 97, 2007, 2017, and 2023.
2023, that's the one I
Yeah, I
reviewed.
watch those every year.
Yeah.
Regardless of how 1997 is pretty rough. I have like a bunch of like random ass wrestlers,
Yeah.
but 2007, that's well, I mean, we've been to those three. So yeah, those are always near and dear to me. But yeah, I remember 2007 too. I talked about this numerous times, but I used to hate watching Shawn Michaels lose. So when he was in the final two with the Undertaker and watching him lose, oh, I was so gutted.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now every time I watch back the sit back and the kick up are like the most like iconic
yeah,
moment from that
yeah.
rumble itself. So that's always a fun treat to go back and watch and show.
We should be ripping some universe this weekend too, but I mean, you know how that went.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
hoping
bro.
we would have been at the house here or our neutral meeting spot and ripping some product, but unfortunately that is not the case. There was a lot of breaks over on Whatnot and Fanatics Live. I know Mama Breaks has like a 4 case or something going on Fanatics Live. A lot of the spots have been taken already, and
Ooh,
Whatnot
I
here.
haven't seen that. I have to check
Yeah, I
what
went
that
to
is.
go look for it yesterday. I was trying to get some Kit Wilson spots, but they're already scooped up. And then I know there's
Of
some
course
stuff
they are.
over on Whatnot. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, not a lot of stuff here going for as far as a ripping product. But it is a perfect segue or perfect introduction to some sneak peeks that we got. I feel like that's all I talk about on these freaking pages and on my social medias are sneak peeks. Is essentially all that we got. We do get a first look of 2026 Topps Chrome. I will put an asterisk on 2026 just because of the way Topps has been releasing WWE product. This may be like a 2027, 2028 product at this point. But we did get our first look. We got Dragon Lee signing. It looks like a bunch of base on card autos, and then I know we had the Creed brothers. I believe it was a 1 of 1, but I know there's an inscription on there. I think it was Brutus that signed it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's one of them that
I
signed it.
swear to God, every time we get like little sneak peeks, it's always the same fucking people. Like,
Yeah,
get your Brutus Creed spots and get your Julius Creed spots because them shit's gonna be hitting like crazy.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the superstars themselves doing the self
That's
promotion,
yeah. I
or
mean,
if
yeah, that
like
has to be. I would think so.
or if
Yeah.
Topps and Fanatics like, hey, like make sure you post a picture of like what you did, because like I feel like for royalty we saw like we've been seeing a lot of like the Miz, Bailey. Those have been like pretty consistent. Exalted as well. Like those have been the pretty consistent people who post their pictures on promoting the product here, because again, Topps doesn't really promote anything these days because we got nothing to release or talk about. But we did get our first look at Topps Chrome. Obviously, we kind of hinted at the last pod as well how last year we had Topps Chrome at the beginning of January ahead of Royal Rumble, so it was very, very exciting for the wrestling card market. Things were, and obviously those Topps were getting the license for the first time back since 2021. And then we also led to the speculation and the confirmed WrestleMania buyback. Obviously, this one here is going to be a little bit tough to do that because WrestleMania is in April, so we're about 3 months out. And they're birdie signing right now, so I highly doubt you get a product released in 3 months unless you have this product that's filled with redemptions. That is possibility. I don't know. I don't think this product comes out in April, so like to me,
Yeah, there's no way.
it kind of kills the excitement for WrestleMania buyback, because I think that's part of our like collecting or our collection, ripping product, looking for base cards of speculation, like who is going to win between Jey Uso and Gunther, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany. Now heading into WrestleMania, we know who's going to win. So if you're trying to buy breaks of those superstars, if you pull a base card of whoever wins the WrestleMania matches or their corresponding matches, that's an easy $20 for the base card, parallels, etc. But so that's my biggest complaint right now that we have. I'm already complaining about Topps Chrome. It's not even out yet, but that is the biggest complaint right now for Topps Chrome for sure. But Bro Pro, I know obviously there's not too much to talk about with Topps Chrome. We only got design and obviously what we got for buyback. But early thoughts here on Topps Chrome. I know the design is kind of tough. I know Brutus put a little bit more of a clearer picture, but or Julius, where the hell it was. But early thoughts on the design, a little bit different. Also gives you a sneak peek of what the other sets are going to look like for the other corresponding sports. So if you're a fan of baseball, basketball, football, they usually tend to carry on the same design. So that kind of gives you a sneak peek as well of what those designs are going to look like if you're interested or collect those other sports. But early thoughts on Topps Chrome. Again, I know a little bit tough, but you have any quick thoughts here on Topps Chrome?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those like we're just gonna have to kind of just wait and see kind of thing. I know the Dragon Lee cards look pretty nice. They give like a nice little like blue shimmer refractory kind of look.
Yeah.
So it does look pretty interesting. But again, yeah, I mean, there's not really much to harp on. It's gonna kind of have to wait and see. I'm with you. I highly doubt it's gonna be out for WrestleMania. Therefore, no WrestleMania buyback. I don't know. Maybe we'll get like a SummerSlam buyback. Maybe since SummerSlam is 2 nights, so I don't know. Maybe it might be like a main event of SummerSlam kind of thing. Um, but I don't know. Guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, because I mean, again, it's something they can still do, but I think that kind of kills the excitement because you obviously want to announce the program before the cards are out. So like, it makes no again, like if again, this is a hypothetical. Like again, if Jey Uso was already confirmed as obviously him beating Gunther, and then we get Topps Chrome after, and we know like everybody to be chasing those Jey Uso cards, so it kind of defeats the purpose of the WrestleMania buybacks and the buybacks in general. I think what Topps tries to do with these is like they try to promote or just try to have people generally try to collect these guys' cards and have it pay off in the end. That's in my eyes, they think the general consensus of these buybacks when it's Topps Chrome, if it's for the MVP winners of baseball, they're bringing it in basketball. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it in football when that license comes next year. They even did it for UFC. I don't remember the fight that it was. I believe it was Perrier. I forgot the fight. I'm not gonna act like I know it, but I know they did one for the big old UFC fight as well. So again, kind of defeats the purpose if you're doing it after the cards are already out or the event happens. So I don't know, a little bit tough, but did just want to briefly talk about Topps Chrome because obviously we don't have anything else to talk about when it comes to hobby talk. But I just wanted to make sure to get that out there if you guys were not aware that Topps Chrome releases there are out and available, which I do promote here. Anytime we get like sneak peeks, things like that, I am promoting it here quickly on my other social media platforms. So if you're not following me over at Moon3PO, make sure to go follow me over there. Social, all the links are down in the description down below wherever you're listening. So you can always check out there to kind of get your weekly or daily updates there when it comes to WWE announcements and WWE trading card news. But let's head into the weekend. Let's head into Saturday, January 31st, Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I know that stadium looks freaking legit. I know they built that stadium in like over a month. It takes freaking our
like 4
hometown to finish.
weeks.
It takes our freaking hometown to finish highway construction like 10 plus years, and
Takes
they
them like a
freaking built
week
it.
to fill a pothole.
And then for it to get destroyed again in about 2 days. And they
Yeah.
freaking built a whole freaking stadium in about like 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
shout out to them for doing that. It looks like they're obviously going all out for it. I know they had like the Roman Reigns finger, the big old standee, the LA Knight sign. So they're going all out for it. So it should be a cool stadium. It should be a good experience for, I think, for even at home. I know we always like to talk about the stadium, the crowd, how it looks on TV. So it should hopefully be a good appeal for us watching at home. But let's get into these predictions here. Very, very exciting card. Again, self-hype, I think, for a lot of these, for the overall excitement. Because, again, I think WWE did lack building up the excitement to the card, but there's no denying the amount of hype around the card itself, who's involved, the stakes that are involved in these matches. A lot of high stakes in these matches. I think that, again, that's what adding on to this excitement of this card and the event itself. But let's start off with Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. If you were listening to the last pod, I think you might know already my prediction on this one. It is for the WWE Undisputed Championship here. I do not think they're pulling the trigger early on Drew, in my opinion. I think he will be heading into WrestleMania as your champion. Granted, we still have a Elimination Chamber in between that. Things could change. I don't know. But I do not see Sami Zayn taking this one here, nor do I see Sami Zayn heading into WrestleMania as your undisputed champion. That's just my personal opinion. I think if you're going to put the belt on Sami, it should have been vice versa. Wins the Rumble and then goes off to be, if it's Drew or, that David versus Goliath type story, which they continue to do with him. And I think that's why I'm just like not really excited about it. Again, I like Sami Zayn. Mrs. Moon is not rubbing off on me. I do like Sami Zayn, but I just think the underdog story just gets a little bit tiresome, in my opinion. But yeah, for this one here, I do got Drew McIntyre retaining the championship. I don't know if it's going to be some foolery, which you did call last episode. I forgot to mention that here. You had the Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes ending some foolery, which shout out to you on that. This one here, don't know if there's going to be some foolery, Cody, Jacob Fatu involved, who knows? But whatever happens, I still got Drew McIntyre retaining the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think I see Drew riding into WrestleMania as a champion. I think also too, like, kind of like just deserving in a sense too. I know we talked about it last time too, like that SmackDown. I think it was in London. That was his first time ever coming out to a live crowd as a champion. So I think it's long overdue for him to come out to an actual PLE. Well, I know he's coming out in Royal Rumble too, but I mean like a WrestleMania S kind of PLE, that kind of stage coming out as champion. I think it's long overdue for him. So yeah, I think for Sami, I think this is going to be a continuation of running this underdog story that always just seems to be following him no matter what the belt is. It kind of just that just kind of fun. It just kind of seems like that's what his character is nowadays, just like the underdog, always constantly like proving people wrong kind of thing. And I think that's probably going to continue. Spoiler, I don't think he's going to win the Rumble either. I think if he does get another title shot at Mania, I think it's probably going to be like a Chamber-esque kind of qualification kind of thing. But yeah, so with that, also riding with Drew McIntyre winning this match. I'm sure it's going to be a banger. So, but yeah.
Yeah. There's no denying the overall quality of the match and, what these two will continue to do. But yeah, it's just the underdog story can only go on for so long, in my opinion. And
I think I talked about it too. Like it's kind of like same thing, like how the whole Gunther situation happened 2 years ago. Like he played the whole underdog thing all the way into the WrestleMania, and so it's kind of like the same thing. It's just now it's the WWE title. So yeah, it's a little bit stale at this point, but I mean,
yeah. And I know some people like to compare it to the Daniel Bryan story and like leading up to 30. To me, that was a little bit different because I felt like the whole WWE universe was behind Daniel Bryan, and that was a very, I don't want to say short buildup because obviously he had his stuff with Randy Orton like in 2012, 2013, things like that, but like CM Punk left at 2013 and then obviously pivoted to Daniel Bryan. The rumor always was like that was supposed to be CM Punk. If that's true, we will never know. But they quickly pivoted to Daniel Bryan. I just see that a little bit differently, in my opinion, because again, I think everybody was behind Daniel Bryan, and like
But so yeah, I
in
think
my case,
the fans twisted their hands on that one. I think there was just
yeah,
no way they were gonna like not let Daniel Bryan win that because yeah.
yeah, and I feel like in this case here, like you have people who just generally do not like Sami Zayn and don't want to see him with the belt at this point. Not saying I'm in that crowd. I just don't think right now it fits the narrative, and I don't think again fits what direction WWE's trying to head into. And obviously, the men's Royal Rumbles will have a very big impact on that. So that's just my personal opinion on it. Will I enjoy a Sami Zayn run eventually? I'm pretty sure I will. He definitely does deserve it. I just think right now it's just not the proper time for him to have this title and get into WrestleMania. It also doesn't make sense for a story. His story is to be an underdog and into WrestleMania as a undisputed champion. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Next one here, big stakes here. We got career on the line. AJ Styles versus Gunther. Obviously, if AJ Styles loses, he will be forced to retire from WWE in ring action, quotation marks. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw Rope here throw the in air quotation marks retirement here. I think before everything happened, like with what we saw on Saturday against Shinsuke Nakamura, and then we saw on Monday, him going against CM Punk. Like if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, and those two events do not happen, I don't see AJ Styles losing this match. But I think the tides have turned a little bit. Like I think there's a reason why they ran that Nakamura match rather quickly. I think there's a reason why they ran that Punk match rather quickly. It also, there's, all the rumors right now with the trademarks as well, the P1, the phenomenal AJ Styles, some people are, marking that up really high. Some people are just saying, oh, that's just, him just doing his thing. He's done that before. It's just now under new light because the timing of it is a little bit suspicious. Obviously there's a lot of different things going around. There's also the rumor is that his contract ends on February 1st, which that is the day after Royal Rumble. So just a lot of different things, a lot of different rumors going around here. But yeah, the point I was getting to, if those two events don't happen, I would have picked AJ Styles winning this match and defeating Gunther in some, I don't want to say cheap way, but kind of like we saw on Monday where, Gunther taps and then the ref doesn't see, and then maybe something else happens, or maybe other way around. Gunther, refs out, AJ pins him or whatever. That's what I would have had 2 weeks ago. I think now times have turned a little bit with those two events happening and what we're hearing and seeing on the internet. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, but in this case here, again, just with everything going on, I do see Gunther winning this year and AJ Styles retiring. What that retirement is, who knows? If it's the rumored him going out of TNA, does he go to AEW? I know people have been talking about that. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but in this case here, I do see Gunther winning this one here, and this being the end of AJ Styles. It also will be kind of sort of poetic. 10 years ago, he made his debut at WWE, now in his career at the Royal Rumble. So who knows that's what WWE is also trying to tie into as well. But yeah, this one here, I do have Gunther ending the career of AJ Styles and continuing on with this career killer storyline and gimmick, or if you want to call it that, continuing on for Gunther.
Yeah, this is one of those I hope that I'm wrong on, but yeah, I think Gunther is walking away victorious here. I think even after I think obviously we knew. Well, I think AJ had announced like last year, late last year, that he was going to retire in 2026, but we're just always under the impression like, oh, it's probably at the end of the year or something like that. But that first episode of Raw after Saturday's main event when Gunther retired John Cena, like he runs into AJ and it's like, oh crap, like are we really doing this already? Like this quick? And so it's kind of in the back of the mind where it's like, oh man, are they gonna do like a career thing kind of thing? Yeah, and then just all the hints that he's doing, like especially like his promos where he says that like if he's forced to retire. He has to retire from WWE. I don't know if you caught that. Same thing in that same promo. He's talked about like there's wrestlers like all over the world that he still wants to wrestle. Whether that being like New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, TNA, stuff like that. I think that's kind of also tying into it. So yeah, I think in a sense, I think when he means retired, I legitimate just think he means like retire from WWE kind of thing. Where he's gonna go from here, who freaking knows? But whoever snags him up, obviously, is gonna benefit greatly because AJ Styles is a goat. So yeah, I don't know. I guess once this is over and once he resurfaces, if indeed he does lose, I guess we'll kind of have to react from there and see what's going on. But yeah, I know. I mean, if you want to talk about it for a little bit, like I know these AEW sickos have been fantasy booking AJ Styles down there for like the past 4 years. So I mean, if he goes over there, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys over there that he has not wrestled from, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, see what happens.
Quick question, since you mentioned it here. Obviously, I know we've had our we've had our comments on AEW, and I hope people who like listen to the pod and like, I hope they know that it's a notable shot. Like it's just like I'm just like punching, like it's just a jab. Like I'm not like the things I say about AEW are not like serious things. That it's just funny to like jab at them because there are the AEW. I said it in the TikTok. It's always left the comment. I had a little section for cards, a card show that I'm gonna be at live at the WAV room. February 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, San Antonio here. Come check it out. WAV room. There's a little small section that I have for AEW cards, and I said for the AEW sickos, which like AEW sickos, like they embrace that stuff. Like
I know, yeah, they
do embrace it, but there is legitimate like AEW marks where like if WWE does something good, like if they fail to recognize it, and vice versa, there's also something the same thing for WWE as well. Like there's some WWE marks who like if AEW does something really really well, they're not going to acknowledge that. I like to think we're not in those areas. I feel like we're both like we enjoy professional wrestling, but the question I'll then throw to you is AJ Styles going to AEW? Like, is that the needle mover for you? I know they just recently signed Tommaso Ciampa. I know that's really, really exciting. I'm not saying I don't think Tommaso Ciampa is like a big needle mover. Great signing. I'm going to be watching for sure. I know he's going to wrestle on Saturday against Mark Briscoe for I believe the TNT Championship already. So I'm really excited for that. But like you mentioned, there's so many storylines that you can run rather quickly with AJ Styles. I'm not too sure if you're too like familiar with like the Bullet Club storyline, the history. Like Kenny Omega is the one that kicked out AJ Styles from the Bullet Club, so that's a story that you can run rather quickly. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, everybody in the Don Callis family. Like there's so many different things that you could do there. John Moxley, there's the story, obviously the history with him at WWE. You could run that back rather quickly. Cesaro or Claudio, if you want to call him that. There's so many interesting storylines and matches that can be had there if he was to go there. And I think he'll be like the first ever like New Japan champion, TNA champion, WWE champion, and AEW champion. If that was to happen, like he'll have that be the first under his belt. But if
Tony Khan hears this, he's already like
he's drinking this Mountain Valley water and getting thirsty. But the question I want to ask here is if AJ Styles goes to AEW, if that does happen, February 3rd, if that's the date here, on Wednesday, he pops up at AEW, February 4th, that's Wednesday, or any date here. If he pops up at AEW, is that the needle mover for you? Is that what gets you to tune in on Max or TNT, TBS on Wednesdays, every Wednesday?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever, just for like clarifications, I don't think I've really like I'm in the same boat as you. Like I knock for them just for the hell of it, just because I think it's funny and it gets people all riled up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like last time, like I really got like really invested into like AEW program. It was like around the time like Bryan Danielson arrived, Adam Cole, CM Punk, like those guys when they were there. I know 2 of the 3 are still there. Well, Adam Cole's hurt, but like that was really the time I really got invested. Once Punk left and all that stuff started happening, that's when I kind of got like kind of not that interested into it. And it's for some reason like it just would just miss on some stuff. But yeah, most definitely. Like, if he goes over there, like I'd be intrigued to watch most definitely. especially man, like I'm not too like into deep of the lore of the Bullet Club, but I did know that about Kenny and AJ and that stuff like that. So like if they were like just debut and he comes in right away, like I mean I would tune in. So um, but yeah, just have to wait and see. Like the Tommaso Ciampa when he debuted, I even tweeted out like, dude, I'm honestly intrigued. So I know it's on. He's fighting for the TNT title on Collision, which that seemed a little odd. Like I don't know. I think in this point, like he has to kind of win because I don't think you're gonna have him
I don't think he kind of has
lose.
to. I think he has to win.
Yeah, so. It'd be interesting to have him debut like that and then just automatically just lose. So and I'm not a big Mark Briscoe guy either, so kind of irks me. But anyways, it's a story for another day. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Tommaso Ciampa. I think I tweeted it out. I think we've even talked about it. Like he's one of my faves from the whole NXT Black and Gold era, along with like Johnny Gargano, the Undisputed Era, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, all those guys. Like that's the bread and butter for me, man. I really enjoyed that period of NXT. Um, so yeah, I'm happy for him. He was this creative was a little funky. Like his singles run never really took off. He kind of just got paired up with DIY with obviously with Johnny, which I was a big fan of DIY anyways to begin with. So I was stoked when they won the tag team titles and all that stuff. And then I remember when they quickly lost it to well, they were called the Bloodline at the time, and MFTs, and then they regained them and then they went heel, which was
Yeah,
funny. Um, so yeah, but after they lost the titles to the Wyatts, did they lose to the Wyatts or they lost to the Profits? Oh, they lost to the Profits, I think.
profits. Yeah,
And the Profits lost it to the Wyatts, yeah. Yeah, after that, they kind of just never took off again. They kind of just were like on the back burners and stuff like that. And then they had the random like singles matches coming out to their old theme songs, and it never really clicked. So yeah, just gonna have to wait and see. I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle because they have so many guys over there with only 2 shows. I think they're desperately need of like a brand split, honestly. Like they need to split that roster up. And I think that's the only way they can like fully maximize like their talent because they have so many people over there. That they just I don't know, like they need to split them up, honestly. But what do I know?
yeah. No, I've always said that about AEW. Like I think to like maximize and utilize that roster to its like full potential. Like I've always said, they either need to. I know it's gonna sound hypocritical because I think there's a lot of belts over there. Like either like make a main championship belt and create another brand. Like I always think that that's always been like what they've needed there. But yeah, who knows? But if AJ Styles was to pop up there, I think that definitely is like one of the needle movers, like kind of what we like you mentioned there, with like with Brian Danielson when he debuted, Adam Cole, things like that. I think he'll finally. I feel like that's when AEW is finally starting to turn some heads. I feel like that will AJ Styles alone is in that area and in that group where that can definitely happen again. But it's going to be interesting. I know, obviously, as well, that the TNA partnership is something to keep an eye out there. I know he obviously had that debut a couple weeks ago on
And he had that run in
AMC.
too, like Mike
Yeah,
Santana too, right? So
yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's something to keep an eye out there. I think it would be cool for him to go to TNA as well. I think that would be kind of poetic as well, if you want to call it that. But yeah, something to keep an eye out there. Again, I hope it's a one again, like you mentioned there, that I'm wrong or that we're both wrong in. But I think with everything that's just been going on right now, it's kind of hard to bet against it if I was a betting man. No financial advice, of course. But let's now head into these Royal Rumble matches here. Let's kick off with the women's because women go first here. This one here, we're gonna go as far as of who has been announced, and then we will then go off and make our predictions here. As far as of who's been announced so far, which again, like we briefly talked about, I absolutely hate how they've been announcing both the men and the women. We got Roman Reigns announcing via email. We got Brock Lesnar calling to the freaking Pat McAfee show and announcing for the Royal Rumble. What did you say? How did spoiler alert, Maxine? How did she?
According to Brandy Rhodes, she has a podcast or like a cooking show on YouTube. And apparently Maxine Dupree announced her entrance to the Royal Rumble via
Yeah,
that. So
on a cooking YouTube podcast show.
yeah. So I don't know if
I,
I don't know when that pod came out. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I want to say I remember seeing a little snippet of it.
I think I saw a clip of it. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. It might have been the Maxine debut. So it might have been yesterday it came out, but anywho's yeah, that's how she declared. So
Yeah, so I put out a funny tweet. We got Roman announcing via email. We got Brock calling in over the phone. Like, what happened to the prize, man? What happened to the business that I love with the special like didn't know anything into the Royal Rumble. Granted, not everybody's been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure heading into Friday, maybe even Saturday before it goes live, that we'll probably even have some more announcements. But yeah, man, sometimes it can be a little bit
Yeah. So as
unfortunate.
of right now, on both sides, we have 13 unconfirmed spots. As
13
of
unconfirmed as of
as
right
of
now
10:38 Thursday, January 29th, Central Time.
at
So
Central Standard Time, which obviously
yeah.
things could change as the time you're listening to this episode. So do keep that in mind. But as far as the women here, these is who has been announced so far. We got Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Bailey, Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, the Prodigy Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Julia, Jordan Grace, Maxine Dupree, and Becky Lynch. Uh, Going based off that list, or if you have special entrants here who are going to win, or I guess returned, I guess we should say. Um, how should we do this? I don't know how far apart we are in audio. Should we go 1, 2, 3, say the name? Do you want to go? You want to ping pong it like the way we usually do here, or I'm gonna put the ball in your
let's
court for these.
let's do something real quick. Out of the confirmed names, is your winner on this list?
Yes.
Okay, mine is not.
Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mine might have
Yeah.
a mine has to have a little asterisk by because it has to something has to happen for my winner to come in.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah,
Now I'm excited about your pick here. I thought we would have
yeah.
been at least neutral on. I think we're probably going to be different on the men's side because mine's a little bit bold, but I don't want to give that away. Um,
I don't know. Mine might
but
be bold alone too, but
I all right. Well, I guess I'll go mine first because mine will be a little bit more anticlimactic than yours. Maybe the men's will do the 1, 2, 3 or whatever. But for the women's side, I do got Liv Morgan becoming and winning this year's women's Royal Rumble. She's kind of close like every other year. So I feel like
yeah,
this year,
I think she's been like top or like Final Four. I think like
like Final
twice, like two or
Four,
three
like
times.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. I know last
yeah,
year was Roxanne Perez and Charlotte Flair. Which if you guys were listening to the
yeah.
last episode, you guys know how heavy I am on Roxanne Perez as far as of like her wrestling card market and like how WWE is promoting her moving forward. Um, Again, I just don't think right now is the proper time for her. Again, at this time, I do think she will become a champion at some point, if that's 2026 or moving forward. But again, I don't think it's right now. It's at this moment. And I think it kind of talks about what we talked about last episode. Kind of the Judgment Day, kind of being in this interest spot, a lot of moving pieces. I don't want to say this is bold, but like Raquel also having the opportunity for the championship, like you can, her maybe losing and or winning, like Liv Morgan going for that championship if that was to happen, or like Liv Morgan being like, I'm gonna go do what you couldn't do and beat Cedric Vicker at WrestleMania. Obviously Cedric Vicker has not had a defeat yet. And again, this is even if she picks this title, but it's kind of just the way my brain is working. But yeah, Liv Morgan has been red hot since her return. Again, has been like in this tag team with Roxanne and losing those matches, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I do think she is due. And I feel like that is, if I was a betting man, again, not financial advice, not telling you to go bet on any of these picks here, but if I was a betting man, I will be taking a look here at Liv Morgan as your 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner.
Nice. Yeah. She. I would honestly have her winning if my pick doesn't pan out. For 1, 2, I think this is probably the Royal Rumble too, where we're probably gonna have like the least amount of like surprises and like non WWE people, just because for the women they have to be like all Power Rangers suit up and stuff like that. And from what I think I saw, like they're responsible for the gear. So to have like somebody like come in for a 1 day show, just fly all the way over there to Saudi, pay for the gear, and then so I think a lot of these women are going to be like the WWE roster as it is already. Um, but for who do I have winning? I have the returning Bianca Belair from injury. I think it kind of just lines up. We haven't seen her since WrestleMania last year, which recording was supposed to be like a finger injury. Then she had surgery on it and stuff like that. So who the heck knows what's going on? I know I haven't heard of any rumblings that she's okay, like healed up and stuff like that. I know that I think I saw a video on the internet the other day of her and I guess it was in Saudi, and she was like at the hotel walking with Jade. Don't know if that's from like previous times or if that was current. to be remain seen. Um, but yeah, I think if she were to return, I have her winning. And I think automatically you can just pick right back up where you were with the whole Jade Cargill storyline. Like they have, I think, some unfinished business in a sense with the whole with the whole Naomi thing. And so I think that'd be like a perfect way to like kind of pick right up where you're at. And I think that'd be a good wave to like make Jade a little bit more heelish because I think she's still kind of like teetering within that line,
Yeah.
and the crowd kind of gets behind her sometimes. And I think there's just really no formidable foil for her on SmackDown. Unfortunately, like she's still like is like beefing with like the mid carders when she should be up there like feuding with like Charlotte, Alexa, and stuff like that. Instead, she's messing around with like Meechin and BFAB and stuff like that. So I know she's kind of like teetering right now with Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace just got called up, so I think it's kind of too soon. And I know she just squashed Chelsea Green too.
So
So um, yeah, so I think Bianca winning would kind of push a little bit Jade a little bit more into the elevate. And if for some reason they want to make that switch really quick, to also too, like Bianca can, and obviously is we know her track record and her how good she can be leading the division as a WWE champion. So, but yeah, I'm rolling with the returning Bianca Belair and becoming a two-time Royal Rumble winner.
two-time, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a really good pick. I did go back and forth on Bianca, also Tiffany as well. I think Tiffany, I think she is will make her return back to WWE programming at the Rumble. I know we did briefly to talk about it here, or we didn't talk about it off the pod. Usually we like to talk about like what we're going to talk about. But any special guests? And I know we kind of mentioned the women might be a little bit tough in as far as of like bringing in like legends into that. I think the last couple of years they haven't really been bringing back a lot of legends. I think it's been a lot of more of like NXT talent, things like that. But if I was to throw a name out to you, or if you're going to throw a name out right now, is there anybody that you would like to see from the women's side? If obviously that being down at NXT, or even you want to get a little bit crazy, you want to throw a legend out there, or maybe a free agent. I know there's a name being
Mm.
thrown around right now as well. That being Soraya, aka Paige. I know she's been training a little bit. But is there like a name specifically that maybe that you want to see? Like, even though if they don't win, it's so nice to see her in the Royal Rumble.
Honestly, I think you have to get Blake Monroe in there.
Blake, but yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
pick her.
I think you got to get her in there. And so Ruka, honestly.
Yeah,
I know there's rumblings that they're, I guess from like the NXT this past week, like they weren't there, like, and JC Jane also wasn't there when Fatal Influence came out.
yeah.
Which I don't know. Has JC Jane ever been in the Rumble? I didn't check up on that.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if she was in last year or the year
She wasn't in last
before.
year's. I
I
rewatched
know a
last
big.
year's.
She was in last year's.
She wasn't in last year's.
Oh,
I
she wasn't in
rewatched
last
it. I
year's.
rewatched last year's Rumbles today. I didn't see JC Jane in there, so um, yeah, I think like her too. I think like her, like I think those three. You think you got to get in there.
Yeah. I
So,
think the big giveaway right now too is that I believe NXT is doing a house event. I think they're doing it at Knoxville, I think this weekend.
oh, okay.
So whoever's not like on that card kind of gives you a good indication of potentially who would be potentially at the Rumble. I think the big names right now would be, I think Tatum Paxi was on the poster, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was
So
she? Okay.
I think so. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think some names that kind of quickly throw out there that I would like to see. Obviously, Blake Monroe, that will be a nice little pop. Get her on main television programming. Granted, NXT, they try to promote as main television program, but if you want to have a lot of eyeballs, you want to promote your next stars, obviously Blake Monroe has to be in that conversation. JC Jane is a really good pick as well. Lola Vice, I know is a name. She wasn't on NXT as well. I know that's a name
Mm.
that's been flowing around. Tatum Paxley. I know those four, I think, would be like the ones that I would like to see make their way here. It would be nice to see Soraya or Paige. She will obviously go by Paige. That would be kind of cool to see her. I think the pretty obvious one as well is going to be AJ Lee. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
She hasn't been on programming since War Games, so kind of get her back in the fold. This will be her first official Royal Rumble as well.
that
Every
is
year,
true.
every
Yeah.
year since we've had this Royal Rumble, every year we always like to think that she was coming back. It's never happened. So if you're ever gonna get her now to compete in a Royal Rumble, this will be now. And obviously, if you want to carry this AJ Lee, Becky Lynch storyline into WrestleMania, have their singles match, have her throw her out of the Rumble, things like that, calling it now. Maybe that's what you do. But I think that would be a nice little thing here. Even have AJ Lee get in the ring with Roxanne Perez. We know the relationship that she has with CM Punk and all that. So that would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's who I have here. And I think as far as of like names that I hopefully we would like to see, would it be cool to see some legends like Trish Stratus, Lita, things like that? Yes, but I know it's a little bit tougher now, especially since they're out of the country. And like you mentioned there, they have those attire uh constraints here that they have to consider. So but yeah, that's the women's Royal Rumble. Really excited for that one. Both the men's and the women again are going to be very, very exciting. So it's something to keep your eyes out here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to probably be seeing some spoilers. Look who was spotted in Saudi Arabia. Look who just had a private flight. Something like that. I'm pretty sure we'll get that a little bit closer and closer as we get
Yep.
as the event approaches. But now to the men's side here. This one here again, very curious to see where it goes. A lot of big names, a lot of different ways that you could go. As far as who's been announced here so far, like I mentioned previously, announcing via email, we got Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio. I will put an asterisk on Rey Mysterio for now because it looks like he was hurt on Monday.
Yeah,
So
it
I don't
looks
know
like
if
it.
he
Yeah.
still is going to be competing or not. So put an asterisk on Rey Mysterio, Jay Uso, Brock Lesnar, again, who likes to just make his announcement a total Brock Lesnar fashion, that being over the phone via the Pat McAfee podcast. Gunther, Solo Sikoa, Penta, Dragon Lee, Jacob Fatu, Oba Femi, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, and R-Truth. Nice to know that the injury for Javon Evans wasn't that serious. I know we talked about it last pod here, how we were a little worried that that would have been a little bit of a big blow to WWE, especially considering that he just got called up about less than a month ago at this point. But those are the names that have been announced so far. Like you mentioned here with the women, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of men's surprise entrances. There's obviously a big name that's flying out there right now, and obviously there is some NXT talent as well that could definitely be used here for this Royal Rumble. Um, so I have a pick. I'm like you. I have a pick, but it's not like a. I hate to say it. Like I'm not. I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not. It doesn't get me up in the morning. Like it doesn't get me up to like want to record a podcast. Like, oh my god, he just won the Royal Rumble. Like to me, that's a predictable, safe choice. And again, I would not be mad about it. But I'm gonna go with my bold pick, and then I'm gonna go with the pick who like I realistically think would win, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I'll do it like that. Yeah. So
Give me
I
your
think
give me the bold, not the bold pick. Give me the
like
first one first, the predictable
the
or
predictable one.
the I'm pretty sure we like I would think I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but I think the predictable one, I mean, I think it's everybody's prediction is Braun Breaker, right?
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
Okay.
predictable one, Braun
Yeah.
Breaker.
Yeah,
I would.
I don't think he's gonna win it either.
So that's the thing. Like Braun Breaker is in the case where like I wouldn't hate it. It's predictable. Obviously it sets up for Punk and Breaker at WrestleMania. If that's night one or night two, wherever way you want to go. Um, so that's the safe option. That's like the safety net. I think if WWE wants to go that route, if they want to play it safe, that's the route that you go. The route that I
I
want to go.
I honestly think with Braun, I think they're gonna run the route of Braun Breaker Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And it's actually funny too because I looked at when I was watching the Rumble from last year, Roman Reigns threw out Braun Breaker
Threw
last
him out,
year.
right? Yeah, I saw. I
Yeah,
think somebody put out. I
yeah,
think we probably saw the same video that Reigns eliminated him the way that Batista eliminated him back in I think 2013 or 2014. That actually
yeah.
the Royal Rumble where everybody got lost their shit again with Daniel Bryan. I think, ironically enough, we're talking about that earlier in the pod. I think that was 2014. Was that 2014? 2015?
I don't know.
My years are all fucked.
Yeah,
But that I think that's the safe option. My
yeah.
bold option, the one that I would love to see, and the one I hope to see, is Oba Femi.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see Oba Femi in that spot. And because the way they've been promoting him is like he's his next big thing. He's getting the comps of Brock Lesnar. You put him in a match with Cody Rhodes on John Cena's retirement match. That shows how much stock they have invested in him. I think there's a reason why he didn't lose the NXT championship cleanly and just left it in the
Just
middle.
left it. Yeah.
There's a reason why they're doing these promo packages for him. And I think it's a perfect way that you can just, for about a month, ping pong. Who is he going to pick? Is he going to go to Raw? Is he going to go to SmackDown? And it kind of gives you your full declaration of where he's going to go. Um, I know the rumor right now is like it's this him being in there and Brock being there that sets up that program. You can definitely do that. I I, I guess I don't know. I guess that's just me being a hater because I don't like Brock Lesnar. I've talked about that.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think Brock Lesnar works well with like a big boy. I think he works good, especially in this later in his career. Wants to not want to say he wants to, but I think the better and exciting matches are when he works with smaller guys. Um, like the Daniel Bryans, the AJ Styles here. But yeah, my bold pick here and who I will love to see win this Rumble, that being Obafemi. And Drew McIntyre is your champion.
yeah.
You had that run in that Sunday Night's main event, like, hey, I was about to beat the current champion.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
You interrupted my match. I'm gonna take something from you. You took everything away from me. Not he didn't take everything away from him. I'm just speaking hypothetically, but you ruined my match, my debut match on the main roster. Cody Rhodes on John Cena's retirement PLE. Now I'm gonna ruin something for you, and I'm gonna take that from you. If that's your main event, who knows? But I'm gonna go with Obafemi as your 2026 men's Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah, man, that's some solid convincing. And I mean, I think we even talked about it last week too when we talked about like sneaky picks and who we're watching. I think we both, well, I had Obafemi, I think you did too, but
Mhm.
we talked about like him having to have like a strong showing and like they need to book him like strongly. Like only him and Oscar have ever vacated the NXT title, like, and they just left it and went on to the main roster. So um like, and Oscar went undefeated for so long too, even on the main roster until she finally lost to Charlotte, I think at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Um, so like to have your quote unquote like debut again on the main roster to win the Rumble, I mean, that'd be pretty sick. So, and that would honestly like just put you on the rocket and send you to the moon.
Yeah.
Um, but for my pick, I am picking somebody who was already on the card earlier in the night, and I am picking the career killer Gunther to win the Rumble. I think he's just gonna have a big night. I think this is also kind of like them, like just kind of like just strapping the rock a little bit on Gunther again, and kind of just like wanting to run with him. And I think also you can kind of like reignite that little feud he had with CM Punk over the summer. And I think this can also play a little bit into like the whole like career kind of thing where like obviously CM Punk is up there in age. I know he said he wants to go, to like he's 50 or something like that. But I mean, if you wanted to, like you could even play to this whole like, career versus title kind of thing if you want to go that route. So yeah, I think Gunther's set for a big night on Saturday. And yeah, I think that would be another way to piss people off. Like first he beat Cena, then he beat JJ Styles. Now he's
You
winning
know
the
how
Rumble.
bad the fucking internet would be?
Yeah, but I mean and I think that's the thing though. It's
But
gonna
that's what
get
you want,
people
though. That's
talk.
what
Yeah,
that's what you want.
WWE likes to like sometimes uh booked for reactions, and I think that would send an uproar probably in the internet. And yeah, and I mean, can you imagine how cocky and arrogant Gunther will be on Monday night, like walking around the place knowing he just retired AJ, and now he's the number one contender for the title of his choosing at WrestleMania. So yeah, I'm rolling with Gunther on this one.
Yeah, that's when I went back and forth on as well. Because I think they've the way that Gunther has been booked since the leading up to the retirement tour, leading up to the last time is now tournament, and obviously what we've seen post the last time is now a tournament and post John Cena match. Obviously, they've been promoting him as like he's the next, not next, is the biggest heel in all of wrestling. So what adds on to that, like you mentioned, that is a really, really good pick. I again wouldn't be mad about that one, but yeah, I really do hope that we see some type of I really do not want a Roman Reigns. I know that's a rumor as well. I really don't want
I
Roman
don't
Reigns winning this. I don't
I
see
don't think
where
you
that
can.
I don't know where that fits. I
I
know.
honestly think we're in the era now where they're no longer, or like we're past like part-time champions. I think that's kind of where we're at. Like the belt that they've obviously like with Seth when they had the World Heavyweight title on him, and then like Cody, obviously we see him all the time, and then with Drew, like they're just workhorses. Like even when like even Punk now, like Punk's had like 3 or 4 title defenses like within this past month, and like so I honestly think they're over. Um, part-time champions, and then in a sense too, I think Roman's probably either going to go the direction of Braun or Cody. Like, I don't think Cody Reigns 3 needs a belt. Honestly, I don't think they need to be fighting for the title. So, that's just me. But I think that's where his WrestleMania direction is probably headed. One of those two. I think he has unfinished business. When was the last time we saw Roman? Was it the Survivor Series?
Yeah, War Games. Yeah,
Or did he get beat up again by the Vision? I can't honestly remember.
I think it was War Games.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Punk just said Zebros and dipped.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And also too, I don't think I know there's rumors about Seth returning at the Rumble. I don't think that's happening. I know there's that
Yeah, I
whole
think that ESPN guy isn't no shit.
yeah. Nobody at ESPN fucking knows what's going on with WWE. I
We
mean,
got
for God's
Stephen A.
sakes,
You got Stephen A.
Goldberg's
Smith
his top
saying
wrestler.
Goldberg's the best. God, once I say that, that invalidates everything ESPN says or does about wrestling.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw the clip, and I think that guy just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So yeah, ESPN, if you're looking for WWE insiders, come on,
Freelance.
come on, man.
Here's a wrestling segment here brought to you by the good old host of Collecting the 123 Moon 3 PO Bropio. I'll work for free ESPN. Now, like the women's here, do you have any? I think this one here is I don't want to say tough in terms of surprises. Obviously, the big name out there is Chris Jericho, which if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously you saw I try to clickbait you a little bit with the Chris Jericho picture in there. Gotta get you to click. Spoiler alert if you got this far. I know obviously that's been the big rumor. I know people were clamoring for him on the debut of Raw on Netflix. That didn't happen at the beginning of the year. I know I would say again, kind of like the men's and kind of we talked about, I think in the first episode, that the men's NXT talent is kind of thin. So there's not a lot of names out there potentially that you could go. But is there potentially a name maybe down at TNA as well, potentially that you like see, maybe via free agency or again down at NXT? That is there a name that you personally like to see, like, that's a nice little surprise there?
Yeah, I mean Jericho comes to mind. I mean that'd be I don't want to I don't know. Like I'm not a Jericho hater. Like I do like Jericho. But like I mean it would be good to see him again, kind of thing. I know the other rumor is Powerhouse Hobbs. I know he's another rumored for it.
Royce Keys.
Oh yeah, Royce Keys, if what people want to call him. I know that's a name that's being tossed around. I don't know if that's the best way to debut him, especially if he's going to be under a new name. Like, I don't think that's the best way to do it. Because I mean, there are legitimate WWE fans who just don't watch nothing but WWE. So if they see this guy, like, they're not going to know like who he is. Like, and I just hate to say that, but that's sometimes it's just the nature of the game. So I don't think that'd be smart for them. But yeah, I mean, nobody really comes to mind, honestly. Like, I don't know if you can get like, I don't know, you want to throw in Ricky Saints over there? Like, I don't know. I know he was on NXT recently. I know he's fighting for the belt too this upcoming Tuesday. So that seems highly unlikely with the long travel that's involved with going to Saudi. But like him, like Ethan Page, those kind of guys that are down there. Yeah, I think really honestly, I think the men's is strictly just gonna come from the main roster. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, Finn Balor couldn't even get in there. So, like, which I have a gripe when the fucking Brock Lesnar announcement for the Royal Rumble came in. I retweeted. I was like, buddy. Adam Pearce said it's full. Can't be doing that.
You got Finn Balor trying to get into that Rumble. We got fucking people again via emails, Instagram videos, text messages announcing they're declaring for the Royal Rumble, which is absolute insanity. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the men's one is a little bit thin when it comes to surprises. I think if you're going to do NXT talent, it's a little bit tough because, like you mentioned, they were still involved on Tuesday. So I don't know what that travels and logistic looks like. Maybe fly them out like right after that day. I really don't know how that works. But yeah, I think if you're going to pull some NXT talent, it's going to be either Ricky Saints, Ethan Page. I think will be a good one. Joe Hendry, even though he was last year, I think he would still be a pretty good pop as well. If you want to go down to TNA, Leon Slater. I know he's been pretty involved
Yeah,
on heavy
he's got visa
programming.
issues.
Yeah, I know that's a little bit of a question, a little bit of a question mark there. So how that works again, I don't know. Do you get a little bit crazy? Do you get the Hardy Boys involved, both Jeff and Matt? Obviously they've had their NXT a little bit title run. So yeah, that's one there. A little bit interesting as far as that. I think Matt Cardona, I think, was announced. I think I forgot about him.
Oh, he's
Forgot to bring
there
him up.
too. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
already
there, right?
qualified. Yeah.
I take back my pick. I don't want Obu Femi anymore. I want Kate Wilson. Kate Wilson. Kate Wilson for the Rumble. Book it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll probably be seeing names like that involved. Kind of filling out the rest of those spots there. But yeah, that is the men's and the women's Royal Rumble picks here. And of course, that is the whole card there for the Royal Rumble. Only 4 matches. Usually we like to complain about how short these cards are, but this is the only excuse to have 4 matches on a card because these Royal Rumble matches take about an hour to an hour and a half, especially with entrances and all that. So, yeah, that is our card there. Obviously, we will be back here post Royal Rumble with our reactions. Usually, we like to record either on Mondays and or Tuesdays. So keep an eye out there for the next episode in the middle of the week. And we will definitely be back here giving our full thoughts here on the Royal Rumble. But before I wrap everything up officially here on my end, Bropio, any final thoughts here for the good old listeners of collecting the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, I got 2 things. First off, I did ask my 4-year-old daughter earlier tonight, who she had winning this Royal Rumble. If anybody out there is wondering, wanna take her predictions with
Solid
a grain of
picks too,
salt.
man. Solid
Yeah.
pick.
So for the men's, she's got Cody Rhodes winning this one. And then for the women's, she has a sneaky pick of Chelsea Green. So if anybody out
Don't
there,
tell that to Michael Hayes.
we're gonna have to make a little graphic with all our picks, and I'm gonna have her on there too with Cody and Chelsea Green. But I did some Royal Rumble number digging earlier today too, because I was kind of just watching the past Rumbles, and wanted to dig up some. This is what we call in the baseball world some nugs, especially since the Royal Rumbles by like a lot of statistics and numbers and stuff
Oh,
like
I
that.
love
So,
those. I don't know if they
oof.
do them anymore, but oh man, I used to
I
love that
know.
shit.
Usually by now they have it, so hopefully we see one on SmackDown because when the by the numbers thing. So, anyways, here are a couple little small Royal Rumble nugs. Liv is obviously going to be in this Rumble, but if Natalia makes an appearance, which I'm pretty sure she might, hasn't been announced yet, but if she is, Liv and Natalia would be the only 2 women to appear in every single Royal Rumble since
Oh
its
wow.
inception in 2018. Yeah. Another appearance record, obviously, it's held by Kane. He has 18 total appearances. Kofi and The Miz are trailing him with 16. So if they make an appearance this one, it'll put them both at 17. So there'll only be one behind Mr. Kane. Obviously, we know Stone Cold Steve Austin is the only person to win 3 Rumbles. A couple of people have a chance this Rumble to do it, and that is Cody, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and Charlotte Flair. So
That's crazy.
names,
Charlotte Flair has 1,
yeah,
2.
names,
That's
names
crazy to
to
think about.
names to keep on. We also have some people who can join the 2-time club winner, with that being Asuka, Bailey, Rhea, Bianca Belair, Jey Uso, which would obviously be a back-to-back, which might fucking send people into uproar. Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, the injured Seth Rollins, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. They all have 1, so if they win this one, they could be a 2-time club. Total men's elimination. This is total of all the times they've been in the Rumble, led by Kane with 45. There is currently 3 people that are active that are behind him. That being Roman Reigns with 36, Brock Lesnar with 32, and Randy Orton with 29. So they do have some wiggle room. They might catch up to him this time. The women's, I did the women's too. That one's a little bit closer because it's so modernized. It's led by Nia Jax, which I'm assuming is probably going to be in the Rumble. She leads the way with 28. Pretty much everybody in the top 10 is active with the exception of 3 people. That being Michelle McCool and Sonya Deville with 8, which for the love of God, I hope I do not see Michelle McCool in this Royal Rumble. And Shayna Baszler with 16.
Oh yeah, I forgot she had a big
Yeah.
Rumble.
So behind Nia is Rhea with 20, Charlotte Flair with 19, Bailey with 18, and then Shayna with 16. Which oddly enough, that considering the fact that like Liv and Natalia have been in every single Royal Rumble, they are respectively in 7th and 8th place, with Natalia with 10 and Liv with 9. So there you go. There's some more Rumble nugs for you.
In your Nuggets, or do you happen off the top of your head, do you happen to know who has the most eliminations in like a single Royal Rumble? I think it was
I
Kane for a
think
while. Is it Reigns with 13?
it's either Reigns or it's Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's went on that rampage that one year.
Oh
It's one
yeah.
of those. It's one of those two. I know Nia has like a high elimination count because she was involved in that bullshit
Oh, that
spot
stupid
last
one
year.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. So, and obviously, if you're curious, the Iron Woman is Roxanne Perez. She broke it last year. And I think the men is held by Gunther, if I'm not mistaken. I think he broke it at our Rumble in 2023, if I'm not too off on that. But yeah, man, those some more Roman nugs for you.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can quickly find the most eliminations in a single. Damn, where the hell is it?
Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'm pretty sure it's
I think you are right. I think it is Braun Strowman, but damn, who the hell? What's the number?
let's see. Where's Braun at?
Oh, it's tied. So Brock Lesnar has 13 in 2020. That's when he was defending. He was just in there for the fuck of it. And then
Oh,
Braun Strowman, it's the greatest Royal Rumble. I think they did that one in
oh,
overseas too.
that one doesn't
Yeah.
count.
Then Reigns had
Okay, so
12 in
actually,
2014.
speaking of that 2020 Rumble day, I watched that one too. That was so fucking hilarious, dude. Like Brock is, I'm not a big fan of Brock, but like him in that first half of the Rumble is
Dude,
just
that is.
like
I
A1, dude.
rewatched that one too. That one, he is good in that one.
Who
There's
is
a
he dancing?
few
Whose song was he dancing to? That when he's coming out,
MVP,
he's like,
MVP,
MVP, yeah. And then
MVP, and then
when
when
Keith
Keith Lee
Lee
comes
comes
out
out, he's like,
at the big boy.
oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah. I obviously just echoed here. I'm not the biggest fan of Brock Lesnar, but again, when he's in there by himself, he does have some entertaining moments. So yeah, I was
yeah.
going to mention that here. But as you mentioned, Nugs here, I am going to make another bold prediction with Obafemi. If he does not win the Royal Rumble, I do believe he will break the single men's eliminations, and I will make it
Ooh,
even bolder. Is I do think he will eliminate Brock Lesnar to break the record. So he'll have
ooh,
13 and then throw Brock out and then get to 14. So eliminating nearly half of the men in the Royal
damn.
Rumble. Bold prediction here. As you can tell, guys, I am a big fan of Obafemi. I do
Last
think they have.
last little note too. If you're not financial advice, but if you're a gambling person and you like to gamble on spots, the lucky number with the most wins is number 27 and number 30 with 5 wins, and then following that, surprisingly, number 1 and number 28, and they have 4 wins. So number 1, number 28, number 27, and number 30. So those are the most spots with the most wins. So yeah,
There you go.
let's see who comes out.
And so if you're in our WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, our Royal Rumble pool party, those are the numbers that you want to you want to be looking
Yeah.
out for and want to be drawing here. Um, it's a little bit of an insider joke. And others are like, what the hell are you talking about, Moon? It's an insider joke. But yeah, no, good final nugs there. Definitely love that. Again, hopefully they bring all that shit. That's some of like some of
By
the
the
best stuff they do
numbers.
by the note. Yeah, there you go. Narrated by Corey Graves. I think that's gonna be to the T 10 out of 10. Some final thoughts here on my end. Again, like I briefly mentioned at the like middle of the episode or wherever hell that I mentioned it. I will be trading card vending for the first time. So again, if you are in the San Antonio area, I will be at the WAV room.
At the
Again,
WAV room.
did we ever confirm how it's pronounced? Is it?
Nope.
We never confirmed it, right? It's just
No.
now officially the WAV room.
The WAV room.
We will be there February 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you are in the area, feel free to come check us out. It is at 3000 North St. Mary Street, San Antonio, Texas. Again, live at the WAV room, 10 a.m. Carved and coffee, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come in, say hi, grab a coffee. I did confirm as well, if you're over the age of drinking, they will also be serving alcohol. So
Ooh.
if you want a little espresso martini, you want to spice up your drink there, they will be serving live alcohol. Again, for those 21 over, which I think half my
Maybe
audience are children.
maybe your Royal Rumble pig just won. I want to take a little celebration.
Granted, but I think half of my audience that I've ran into in public are children. So keep that in mind. If not, you'll stick you you stick to your coffee. But I don't
Yeah.
think if you're a child, you're listening to an hour long podcast. But
Oh,
who
yeah, no.
knows? Yeah, again, who knows? But yeah, again, live in living color, 3000 North St. Mary Street, WAV
Whatever.
room, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Center Standard Time. I will be there. Come on, stop by. I will be there, Vendi. Mrs. Moon will be behind the table. She's gonna be doing all the math for me because I don't know how to do freaking math in public. So she'll be doing all the math for me there. You'll be there.
Slinging some
Uh,
Pokemon.
yeah, slinging and dealing. Some Pokemon there. There's gonna be a lot of Pokemon, a lot of sports. So again, if you're in the area, it's not just a wrestling thing. So if you are in the area, want to just come in, walk around, do whatever, say have a good time. Come check us out there live at the WAV room, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, and again, we will be back next week with our reaction to the whole Royal Rumble. So make sure you do stay tuned for that. Make sure you are following wherever you're listening. If that's Spotify and Apple. If you're on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're over 900 subscribers. That's absolutely insane. We're at like a 911 now, or maybe I shouldn't have said that. We're at 911. I shouldn't have said it like that. We're at 911 now. So if you guys are not subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Go follow us over on TikTok. Again, all the social medias are linked down below. So wherever you're listening, they are clickable. I verified that. So you can click and I'll take you over there. Hit the follow button. It does support us. It helps support our content. So if you're not following, subscribing, but you're listening to our podcast, what are you doing? But yeah, that's all I have here on my end. See you Sunday at the WAV room. If you're not going to be at the WAV room, I will see y'all next week live in a living color on the podcast.
Roll to WrestleMania, baby. Let's go.
Road to WrestleMania is officially here. Very, very excited. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Again, WAV room Sunday. Road to WrestleMania is here. But that's it on my end. Thank you guys for listening, watching. See you at the next room. WAV room.